On Saturday afternoon, a teenager in a mock military uniform walked into a grocery store in Buffalo and shot more than a dozen strangers with a rifle. So on Saturday, after he made good on his long-standing threat to open fire into a crowd, Gendron left an 180-page letter that he said would explain his motives. You've probably heard this document described as a racist manifesto. But that's not quite right. It's definitely racist, bitterly so. Gendron reduces people to their skin color. That's the essence of racism, and it's immoral. But what he wrote does not add up to a manifesto. It is not a blueprint for a new extremist political movement, much less the potential inspiration for a racist revolution. The document is not recognizably left-wing or right-wing. It's not really political at all. The document is crazy. It's the product of a diseased and organized mind. Within minutes of Saturday's shooting, before all of the bodies of those 10 murdered Americans had even been identified by their loved ones, professional Democrats had begun a coordinated campaign to blame those murders on their political opponents. They did it, they said, immediately. Patron Gendron was the heir to Donald Trump, they told us. Trumpism committed mass murder in Buffalo. So because a mentally ill teenager murdered strangers, you cannot be allowed to express your political views out loud. That's what they're telling you. That's what they've wanted to tell you for a long time. But Saturday's massacre gives them a pretext, a justification.
I watched Tucker Carlson broadcast this live this evening. The idea that this racist manifesto is somehow not racist, it's somehow not left-wing or right-wing, it's just the musings of an insane person. And this is coming from arguably an insane person who goes on TV every night and race baits, somebody who is very keen to divide the very country that he claims to love. And Tucker Carlson has a habit of telling people what to think, and I've always found this kind of fascinating. Where I'm from, you don't have hosts communicate with people like this. You know, you report the facts, but you don't tell people what they should be thinking. And this is something that, you know, he has done time and time again, this great replacement theory, this concept that, you know, is spoken in code. Everything he says is done in code, in the same way that Donald Trump, probably unwittingly, with his white power, didn't realize how he was mobilizing an entire movement of far-right extremists, welcoming everybody into his fold. The far-right used to be a fringe organization. Now it's very much part of the Republican Party. You know, nationalism gave way to Nazism. Ron DeSantis refusing to denounce a Nazi rally in Florida. I mean, these are the things that we need our leaders to remain focused on. And really, the concept of the Great Replacement theory is not new. Trump always talked about genes, genetics, you know, the Aryan race. This is something that was very important to him, referring to good people with good genes, you know. This obsession with white supremacy, making America white again. These people aren't hiding in the shadows anymore, you know. They used to be out in the dead of night in white hoods. These days it's in plain sight. It's Ahmaud Arbery being executed in the street, effectively lynched by 3 white guys. And so seeing the shooting on Saturday, seeing this man, an 18-year-old, not a boy, a man with military fatigues and semi-automatic weapons, who put out this manifesto, who had the N-word written on his gun. It's no accident. You know, the guy wasn't crazy. The guy had been exposed to all of this news, all of this material, to the teachings of Tucker Carlson, to the rhetoric of Donald Trump. This is what he's been exposed to the last few years. So he doesn't think he's fringe at all. He thinks it's the mainstream, because it is the mainstream. Arguably, this white supremacy is now at the heart of the Republican Party. And it's only going to divide America more. And I'm embarrassed because, you know, I'm a white guy. I'm embarrassed to be a white guy right now because the white guys are dropping the ball. They're not allowing society to progress in the way that it needs to progress, where integration really means integration, not using code to segregate people or symbols or whatever it may be. So Tucker Carlson denouncing this guy as nuts, which is what we always seem to hear from people on the right. is just another example of how thoughts and prayers are the only offer. There's no desire to do anything for these people, young people especially. There's all this rhetoric about being pro-life, protecting an unborn baby. But once a baby is born and becomes a child, no free school meals, no childcare, no support, no mental health support, nothing. Just leave these people to their own devices. It makes me very sad. Pro-life should mean all life, living on this planet, walking on this planet, wanting to support these people. And so to see this guy calmly arrested when the likes of George Floyd or Breonna Taylor, being black, were murdered by police, not given a chance. This guy wanted to turn the gun on himself. The police were like, no, come on, you're okay. Come with us. We'll gently put you in handcuffs and put you on trial. It's hypocrisy. One rule for the black people, one rule for the white people. And so it goes on. I'm Anthony Davis. You can hear me daily on the 5-Minute News podcast and every Sunday morning on The Weekend Show with MeidasTouch.